I think in that, just that professionalism of age and experience gives their brand automatic credibility once somebody buys into it.
Awesome.
And I wish that people who were in more glamorous spaces understood that concept so they can also ingrain that into their
Sure.
brands.
You're already a creator. You've got an audience online.
Yeah.
It means you know how to create exposure.
Yes.
So don't allow someone to pay you with exposure. Sell the exposure that you have created already.
Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Lebo Lion with the tweets. Follow me back to my nest. Lebo Lion with the podcast. Teach you lesson cause I got class. Lebo Lion with the impact. You be lying, that's a real fact. Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Lebo Lion with the tweets. Follow me.
Yes, thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this craziness. Because everybody knows that wherever Lebo Lion is, kuzofiwa. Right? Like, I'm not going to censor myself. Even though I won't lie. I've been saying that I don't censor myself, but I think I actually do. Right? Like, I speak a truth, but I don't speak the full thing. And that's also something I want to undo this year, right? But speaking the full truth comes at a cost. If I go broke, will you guys fund me? Will you each give me R1? Nyankela, because wow, it's just, I think the older you get, the more tired you become of censoring yourself. Yeah, life is where truth is. Guys, before we get into today's conversation, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and do all the things that get people to watch this lovely, lovely podcast that is growing into a full-on hub for all my entrepreneur friends, business owners, professionals. And I'd like to say people who are disruptors in their own regard. You know, like you are wherever you are and you're just trying to do things differently. Not because you want to prove something, but because you believe that that's how the world should be. And that's courageous. So welcome. We're already trying to make this home as fun, as entertaining, as educational, and as familiar as possible. You know, you must want to be here because you feel seen, heard, and represented. And I'm so grateful for all of the comments that you guys leave on a weekly basis and everything that you're saying. And we are amping up the content. Before we go into today's topic, though, I do have to thank Tattoo Restaurant out in Ilovo. Go there. I keep saying, try nice things. I don't know how often I must say this thing, but I'm literally here at one of the nice things. We are showing you how nice it is. So you guys must go to Ilovo Tattoo and have a girls' night out or a guy's night out or a date night, whatever it may be. Come eat. They've got lovely cuisine. I like to call it fusion because they've got traditional food, but then they add an extra elevated element to it. So they're really doing an amazing job, and it's owned by one of our own South African people, right? We love to frequent places that are owned by people like us. It's important for the culture.
Yep.
It's important for the economy. It's important.
It is important.
So Tattoo Restaurant Ilovo.
I like this
the
spot.
details are there.
I like
Come
this spot. I
here.
like this spot.
Fusion, African. So if your man is stubborn, you'll find food here. But if you like more elevated things, you'll find food here. You need to be here. It's not even an ad for them. I genuinely do appreciate the place. And don't forget to get tickets to our masterclass, the Everything is Marketing Masterclass, happening on the 16th of March in Sandton. I'm not sure actually if this podcast will be released before or after the masterclass.
We'll see. I think it will be. I think it will be, definitely.
Okay,
But,
if it's released after,
Yeah.
then go to our website because we will have a gig guide
Yeah.
where we share the Cape Town, Durban, and Limpopo tour dates.
Yes.
If you want us to be in another area and you feel like you can make it happen, email me. The email is here, and let's make it happen because we need to touch as many people as possible. Marketing is powerful.
yes.
It's powerful.
Marketing is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It is everything.
And social media is changing so many people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about today.
That's right. That's right.
Right? So
That's right.
everything is marketing, and marketing is everything.
Yeah.
And if you believe in this gospel, you will see how your life changes in this tech-driven era.
Yeah.
Ndumiso, babutso re bua kang today. Babut. I need a sip.
Before we get into what we're talking about today, I wanted to ask you, why the masterclass? Why have you called us to a masterclass?
You see, this is why we have co-hosts. This is why. So the Everything is Marketing Masterclass, right, is a concept I think that's been brewing in my heart for a very long time. And I just never had the courage to start it. And I want to be as vulnerable as I can this year with everybody, so you guys can see that if Lebo can do it, so can you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And even when you see Lebo doing it, we still have fears. We still have
Yes.
imposter syndrome, all these
Yes,
crazy
yes,
things.
absolutely.
And it's something that's been bringing my heart where I am an evangelist for marketing. It didn't ask me to be, I decided to be because I really believe in it. And I think that in the tech-driven world that we're living in and in the future of things, knowing marketing will be one of the biggest superpowers you can have.
Wow.
Right? That's honestly what I believe. It's a radical statement for me to
Sure.
make, but I believe that.
I believe you.
I know people talk about finance, they
Yeah.
talk about all these things, and those things are great management tools.
Yes, yes.
But I think that marketing is the only building tool. And what we build becomes the world we experience, and it also becomes the economy we create.
Right.
So that's why I think marketing is so powerful.
It's powerful.
Right?
It's
The brands we consume, the places we frequent, everything is marketing.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we just don't know because as human beings, we haven't been taught
Yes,
it, right?
yes.
But some of us, like you and me, both in the marketing space, we understand it. And I think if more business owners get the power of this, they will change how they do business.
Yes.
And they will not see their challenges as burdensome as they do.
Yes.
So marketing is the future and the present. Add tech to that mix and
Oof.
you're making money forever. You're printing money, boy.
One thing I learned from you is that wherever you see marketing, this is a Lebo Lion coach. Whenever you see marketing, know that money is moving.
Thank you.
Lebo Lion right there, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
my quote.
That was powerful when I thought of it. It's. You said it on my podcast when last time you came. It's been less than a year, almost a year since you
No,
came.
it's
And
been like
has stuck
5
with-
months.
Really?
It was October.
Oh, right. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And it stuck with me so much. So, yeah, man.
Say that again.
I'm excited.
They must hear you.
Wherever you see marketing, money is moving. You must know that money is moving. And so I believe that even at this masterclass, you'll be able to identify marketing. You know, like as marketers, you know, you and I don't miss branding and signs and
Everything.
we see marketing everywhere.
Everywhere.
Sometimes you wish you can
It's
switch
everywhere.
it off. You know,
Yeah.
but we see it everywhere. Sometimes you must know that even when something is free, it's not really free.
Nothing is free.
Nothing is free. There's marketing. That is marketing.
You pay for everything.
You will pay for it somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of us, the heftiest price we pay is with our attention.
Yes. Ooh.
That's the heftiest price we pay.
Oh,
Forget
Lebo.
money. Attention.
Attention is expensive, eh?
It's expensive.
Yes, yes. Anyway, back to today.
Yes.
We are talking about the power of social media in building a brand and a business.
Okay.
And in South Africa, we've got a great example and a case study from someone we all love, especially on TikTok. Her name is Mbali Nhlapo. And you know her because she says, "My name is Mbali Nhlapo and I'm your housekeeper."
Doesn't she say, I'm Mbali Nhlapo
Yes,
and I'm
the
your housekeeper?
You know her, you see her, she's a cleaning guru.
Yes.
She makes videos on giving advice on cleaning, and they've even made her the ambassador of vinegar and bicarbonate of soda.
Safari vinegar. That's the brand.
Yeah,
Safari, the one that gives you raisins.
Oh yes, yes, and
Peculiar.
that's because most of her cleaning advice involves vinegar and
bicarbonate of soda.
Yeah, on top of all the other detergents.
Yeah.
But she swears by it. But anyway, there's such a powerful brand story there, Lebo, that I thought we could break down and check. And listen, her rise and everything that she's building has been because of the internet.
Yes.
The internet has made what I call, or produced what I call, accidental celebrities, accidental marketers.
Why accidental?
Because these are people who did not go to marketing school. But they are marketers now because of the tools that these platforms have used. And because social media changed a couple of years ago from just being about consuming content, and it turned all of us into co-creators of content on these platforms. It has made us able to take a product without a marketing degree, without an education, without experience, and you can take that message to the world.
I wouldn't call them accidental marketers.
Talk to me, yeah.
You need to be really dope to be a marketer, okay?
Okay,
No,
alright.
really, because marketing is a science.
True.
And a really good marketer would understand the science of it regardless of who is succeeding in
Sure.
the commercial space,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And that's also a conversation that we must have one day. And I'll touch on it a little bit where I say,
Sure.
people will see Kim Kardashian selling out a product or Kanye West, and then they'll say, he's such a great marketer. No, he's not. He's Kanye West with a team.
Ooh.
He's got great marketers in his team. Where would Kanye West know SEO from? No, let's be honest. I'm not even dogging the people.
Yeah.
Where would Kim Kardashian know those things? They don't. They don't know e-commerce.
Yeah.
They don't know understand these things. They've got great team members who make them look good.
Absolutely.
The value of team.
Absolutely.
But marketers are probably one of the biggest unsung heroes in this time that we're living in, because we have people who are the faces of things, and people assume that because someone is the face, they are the engine. And they're not the engine. Marketing is the engine. Right? So I think in this day and age, what we have is firstly an open system, right? That allows various players to participate who would have not been able to participate. So we've almost democratized access to platforms.
Yes, barriers have been broken down.
Yes, barriers have been broken down, right? So we have, I think, what I would call as true creators, right? Instead of getting an actor, you're getting a person who's really living the thing, showing you the thing in motion.
Yeah, genuinely so.
Genuinely so. So I'd say true creators are coming out, not people who are being paid to do it, not people who are being scripted to do it. It's somebody who's sharing a genuine story, and that resonates with people.
And you can trust them more than someone who's just paid for it.
Exactly, right? Not because paying for something is bad, but because the person who creates the narrative is the one who's best at communicating it.
Yes.
So the creator is the better person to communicate their narrative. Mbali Nhlapo genuinely cleans. She genuinely has the company. She's the best person to talk about it. Unlike an actor who has to pretend to act like a helper to show you how things work from a company that designed a cleaning product, but no one in the company is a cleaner.
Yes, yes.
So they don't even know if their product really works,
and
right?
The creator can be a better evangelist for their product and their
The
service.
creator is the evangelist.
They can
Everybody
answer
else
questions,
is just acting.
Yeah, they can answer questions that a marketing company can't.
Yes. Why? Because, and I keep saying this to people, until you use something, you don't really know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem is, companies don't use their products. They test the product, which is not the same thing.
Sure.
And I was even saying, I think it was another episode at the end of last year, I was saying there's something I call the multiple use function of something, where you find that brands will create a product, right? And they think this is how you use it.
Yes.
Then they put it to market, and people use it completely differently
Sure.
to how it was supposed to be used.
Yeah.
And that's what actually derives the true value to the market of the thing. So let me use a very basic example, and I know a lot of us will resonate. As South Africans, it's not even a black thing or whatever. Ice cream tubs. Listen, Tupperware has nothing on ice cream tubs. We have shown ice cream companies that actually South Africans, we repurpose things, first of all, right? We're not wasteful consumers.
They're so versatile, those tubs.
They're so versatile. So first you buy it for the ice cream, then you buy it as a takeaway box. Some people even use it as a lunch box. If I was an ice cream brand, I would leverage on that. I would make the ice cream tub even fancier looking, just so somebody feels proud taking it to work. Maybe it's easier to remove the branding once I'm done with it, and something. But like, brands are not listening.
Yeah, and they could make the container more durable, like it's better quality, because they would want it to last longer. And if the branding is even left on, for instance, I'm thinking of a scenario where the branding is left on.
Yes.
And that person is using that tub for a year.
Yes. And what
Your
does that do?
brand gets mileage.
It's free advertising for how long? Right?
Yeah.
So like, there's so much that brands I think aren't doing in terms of listening to how people use things. But the ones who listen get so much mileage out of one product. Actually, the perfect example which I put on my TikTok was Sunlight Soap.
Yeah.
The green bar.
Right.
There's an in-store ad that they did where it's by the actual Sunlight Soap in the store. And it's a yellow cardboard thing that looks like this. It's like curved, right? So at the top it has the green bar soap in its full thing. Just when you take it out of the package, it's full green bar. And they say what the use would be. And then they show you in its different stages and how you would use it.
Dope.
That's a brand that understands how people use sunlight. I mean, I think there was one point in the thing where they say, I'm very bad with Zulu, but it's like you use it when you're constipated or something.
Oh yeah. What's the word when you're constipated? Ukusongelana.
Yeah?
Kunjelo.
Kunge-
Yeah,
what
kunjelo,
is-
but is when you got air in your stomach,
Yeah.
when you're bloated.
Yeah,
Kunje.
apparently people consume sunlight, so I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I
people
thought it
do.
would be dangerous.
No, apparently people do that.
Oh yeah, some
What?
kata with it. You know the spade when you
Kata.
put behind.
I don't even want to know.
I
It
forgot what it's
sounds
called in
dangerous.
English. The spade where you put something and then you
Like
go
a
there
spade
behind and
with sunlight soap.
Yes.
You see, so I didn't even know that, but like I learned it from that.
It's got medical uses.
It means that sunlight understands the user, and they get that this green bar has a long life cycle
their market.
to their customer. People bought more, and actually, a lot of people were taking photos and videos.
Sure.
When they were going to the shops because they saw that sunlight did this.
right.
So that's a brand that understands. And I think these true creators that exist like Mbali Nhlapo,
Yes.
Mbali Nhlapo
And I'm your housekeeper.
are great at bringing the authenticity by virtue of truly using something the way it's supposed to be
Great,
used,
great,
which makes the brand relevant to the consumer.
Is that what you attribute her rise and success to?
Mm-hmm.
How authentic she is, how the fact that she is using the product, she's
Yeah.
involved personally in it. You know, she's got a cleaning agency,
Yes.
but she is the face, maybe.
Yeah.
And because we like her,
Yes.
the other thing, she's so likable.
Yes.
And she doesn't try and twang.
She's being
and
herself.
Be from a like sound intelligent or from another country. Perhaps,
Yes.
She's just Mbali Nhlapo.
You know, the interesting thing about South Africa, and we still need to go through Mbali Nhlapo's pages and
Yeah.
really talk about that, but the interesting thing about South Africa is when we speak marketing, I believe that we try too hard to identify South African behavior and characteristics in things. And in doing that, we narrow the definition of being a South African. And we reject all the other expressions of it.
Wow.
Mbali is great. She expresses one type of South African.
Yeah.
I like it for her.
Right.
You know, it's lovely.
Yes.
But there are other types of expressions.
Right. Mbali is a
She
type.
is a type, but she's not all, right?
Yes.
Her being the way she is isn't against or for anything. It's just her being herself,
yes.
right? And I would urge marketers who are listening to this, or even business people, when you are evaluating, assessing a creator that you might want to work with, don't judge them and don't project. I think a lot of us project. This person is not African enough because they are too African because. No.
Yeah.
What you need to be asking yourself is, what is their content?
Yes. Yes.
Who is their audience?
Yeah.
And do they align with my brand?
Yes.
That's it.
And that's where their value is.
That's where their value
because
is.
they are relevant to that audience or that community that is going to hear them.
Yes.
And you need to leverage on that power.
Yes.
As a brand owner.
Yeah.
Using
Like,
that person.
nobody's upset that she's partnered with Safari Vinegar. Duh. You know? But it's interesting. And I'll go into this, but
Sure.
let's first just introduce anybody who's watching from another country. We do have people from other countries
Yes,
watching this
yes,
podcast. Let's just give them a breakdown of who Mbali Nhlapo is.
right.
I know you gave an introduction, and I just want to extend it. So Mbali Nhlapo is a woman who owns a cleaning company. She specializes in cleaning. They've even called her the face of clean talk because her rise came from TikTok. And what she does is she gives people tips on how to clean their houses, affordable tips.
Yes.
That's why she uses everyday household
Yes.
goods, you know, things that you would find in your cupboard every single day. And that's made her valuable and useful to people because not everybody can afford a cleaning company, right? And the great thing about Mbali Nhlapo, and I think which is what gave her the fame and the notoriety that she has, is her introduction. I'm Mbali Nhlapo and I'm a housekeeper, right? I don't think people understand how branding is a really holistic concept. And when you want to have content online, people need to recognize you for something over and above the actual thing that you do, right? So I saw, for example, with my TikTok that when I first started on TikTok at the end of 2022, I mean, I was just there, right? And I would just post content. Then I changed and I started adding sonic branding to my thing.
Right.
And I had an intro,
Right.
which is, I'm Lebo Lion, the voice of marketing, your friend, all things
That matters,
marketing,
eh?
brand building, business mindset, and pop culture. That changed everything for my page. I started getting 500,000 views. Da, 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 da. Just from that. Why? Because people can rely that you're going to do something repetitively.
My name is Ndumiso. I'm a podcaster, marketer, all these things. Okay, I'm gonna polish it. I'm gonna polish it, Lebo, I promise.
No, but really. And it even became such a thing that other people started copying me. And I love it because it shows that they see, okay, this is the value.
Something we have to highlight there. You said sonic branding.
Yeah, sonic
Can
branding.
you talk to us about that for people who don't understand that?
Okay, so, and maybe I am being liberal by having an intro sonic branding, but I'll call it that because you are using your vocals and it's an introduction to something using voice, right? But sonic branding is sound branding. Right. So how do you use sound to give identity to the thing that you do? And recognition through sound, right? Basic examples of sonic branding are things like your intro, my intro song, come and teach you a lesson. That's sonic branding for my podcast.
Dope track.
Right.
Dope track.
Thank you very much. But like, there are other ways to do it. And hi, I'm Mbali Nhlapo. I'm a housekeeper. The fact that she even has like the highs and the lows, and she uses her voice in that way, that changes everything. You think it's the cleaning that people resonate with? It's the intro.
Wow.
Really?
It's the hook.
Fight me. Fight me. But it's the intro. Yes. That's why anywhere she goes, Mbali will not start a conversation on stage without saying, Mbali Nhlapo. If that did not matter, she would not have to do it.
And when she does that, even publicly in talks or anything, everyone says it with her.
Yes.
And even when you're watching on TikTok, you sing it to yourself.
Yes.
You mumble it to yourself. I'm your housekeeper.
Yeah.
It's such a jingle, nice thing.
That's the point, right? Even like I have people all the time just saying to me, I watch your videos for your intro. That's it. Like, I don't care what else you say. I will listen and I will like, but I want the intro. The intro is what I'm here for. You know what I mean? So that just means familiarity, relatability, predictability.
Yes.
Social media is not supposed to be interesting to the creator. It's supposed to be interesting to your viewer.
Wow.
So the boring things, the mundane things that you do are exciting for your viewer.
Amazing.
That's why I'm Mbali Nhlapo. Every time. It's boring to say after some time, guys. It really is. But you know, for your audience, it gets better every time.
Because it's memorable.
It's memorable. And I relate to you. I can go, ooh, I'm on Lebo's page. Yeah, she's going to do that again. I'm on Mbali's page. That's how it works.
Right.
So I think for me, we're really undermining sonic branding, especially in an era where there's so much noise that you need to differentiate people quite quickly.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it cannot be complicated.
Yeah.
Once it's complicated, you're boring.
Yeah.
And that's also how, if you look at the trend on social media, women are the ones who use that.
Absolutely.
Men seldom do.
We don't, you know. I've never thought, like, what could I make an intro of myself? But it's important to have it. I agree. Do you think personality, Mbali's personality, and the way she delivers that also plays a role?
The way she delivers it, but I don't know if that's her personality.
Yeah.
I don't know her.
Of course.
Do you get what I'm
Of
saying?
course,
And I'm saying this as a marketer.
Yeah.
Maybe other people feel like they know her.
Sure.
But I don't. So when I look at her as a creator.
Sure.
And a business owner, and then I unpack what I see.
Yes.
So with Mbali Nhlapo, I think what she did very well, and a lot of entrepreneurs who are in industries that are not glitzy and glammy, they don't have the shame that some of us will have doing certain things to get people to get their product. You know, he's not caring about whether we like how beautiful she is, or it doesn't matter. The optics are not it.
There's an entire episode just on that point, Lebo.
Right? No, we really could. But like people like her, and I'm not saying this just because she's cleaning, there are other industries. Like if you do anything that's not glamorous, whether it's, I don't know, you own a butchery.
Yeah.
Butchery is not glamorous. We're seeing dead animals. Like there's nothing cute about that, right? But like you find people who make content like that tend to be the most people-centric. You can tell in how they communicate that they're used to working with people.
Wow.
Directly.
Yeah.
So when they're communicating online, you almost feel like your mom, your uncle, somebody.
Some kind of nostalgia.
Yeah, there's a nostalgia and authority.
Yes.
Because you don't feel like you're an age mate. I feel like Mbali Nhlapo was like my mother, you know? Like I would never disrespect her.
Yeah.
And I think in that, just that professionalism of age and experience gives their brand automatic credibility once somebody buys into it.
Awesome.
And I wish that people who were in more glamorous spaces understood that concept so they can also ingrain that into their brands. But they care so much about the hype that like when you look online, you'll see makeup artists, hair people have the worst reputations.
Yes.
The most annoying content where consumers are complaining comes from beauty, the beauty space, right? So that means there's a lack of authority. There's a lack of trust there. Because once there's trust, people don't complain. I've had clients where I did personal branding or business consultations with them, and maybe something didn't go right, but they never went to social media. They would come back to me and say, but Lebo, you are the expert. Please
What
fix
happened
this.
here? Yeah.
And we fix it.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So that means there's an element of trust between me and the people who work with me, because they have the confidence to come back if something is not okay. People who are 50 years old will be in a consultation with me and say, I'll sleep. You get me? No, and I used to be offended because I'd be like, oh, but I'm younger. But then I realized it's because they see my authority
Yes, they see the
in what
value.
I do, right? In my craft. Not what I'll sleep for life. Just in marketing to Bona. I'm Auslebo.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
you're a leader in that regard.
I'm a leader in that regard, and it's humbled me to be sitting there with people where I'm like, yo, but you're like, you've achieved so much, and your company is this, and you are this person, but you're calling me Auslebo. That's big. And I think that's the same with Mbali Nhlapo. If you look at her content, like, people respect her.
Yes. And so the most powerful thing I saw of her was that Discam working
Insecticide.
relationship that she's doing. On the shelf, where the product is being sold, they've got a poster or like a flyer of her that says Mbali Nhlapo is endorsing this.
Yes.
And because Mbali Nhlapo is associated with clean houses,
Yes.
she's a trustworthy voice in that area, they saw value in that and they wanted access to her audience.
Yes.
And then they got her. Powerful. She's risen as an authority now, as a thought leader in that area. And her name is so valuable that where we see Mbali's name, we see authenticity. We assume authenticity. That's powerful. That's really powerful.
I mean, you know, what's interesting is because I posted on LinkedIn about that insecticide thing at Discam, whatever. And a few people commented and they said, we hope that she's getting paid her worth for this, you know? And I think that's a worthy conversation to have, right? Because we know brands like to buy association, but they don't necessarily pay for it.
They want to pay the cheapest dollar or rand for it.
Yeah. So
Cheapest.
let's talk about that. Influencers, creators, working with brands and getting paid your worth.
So I've managed influencers
Okay.
and people doing brand
The
work.
diva. I'm a diva.
Hard to work with those people.
I can't. I've tried.
Yeah, so I've managed them and I've sat at negotiation tables with them. And what you're saying is right. Brands are always trying to pay as little as possible, but try and get as much work from you as well. And when there is no team, like you were saying earlier on, when there's no team or person talking to or talking for you or talking on your behalf,
Yes.
you will take the worst deal.
Yes.
Because you want the work, you don't know how the industry works, and you'll just see money. Because you enjoy this. So I'm getting paid 5,000 for doing something I am having fun doing. I'm taking it. Because who's going to give me 5,000?
Sometimes I want to ask myself if I'm rich because when someone says 5,000, I'm like, yeah, 5,000? Petrol. That's literally all I'm like, you want to pay me petrol
Yeah.
to do a campaign?
So brands take advantage of your ignorance as a creator.
But,
if you don't have
but
a
my
business
question becomes,
team.
how are creators paying their bills? If 5,000
Yeah. They're behind in that
seems
area.
like money, and look, there's a conversation about if you're vibrating on the level of money, there's no amount that's too small or too big.
Yeah.
Yes, so if I see 100 rand in my wallet, I'm excited. Woo, 100 rand. But I also know that in business, I need to get paid my worth.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I can appreciate the amount 5,000. I've already given it a value, petrol. So it's useful.
Yes.
But you cannot ask me to do work for petrol.
Yes.
You get what I'm trying to
Exactly,
say? Like, it
exactly.
makes no sense to me.
It takes us to another conversation about when you're asked to do work for free
Ah.
and promised exposure.
Ah,
You're already a creator. You've got an audience online.
Yeah.
It means you know how to create exposure.
yes.
So don't allow someone to pay you with exposure. Sell the exposure that you have created already. Because someone has seen value in you.
Yes.
Don't work for free. And it's bad for the entire industry.
Thank you.
When we undercharge or don't charge at all.
Yes.
Because they go to 1, 2, 3 people who quote very low.
Yeah.
You come quoting your worth. They're
Then
like,
you're expensive.
this one is arrogant. This one thinks they've made it.
Yes.
No, I get frustrated when I see graphic designers charging 200 rand for a logo. I want to scream.
I've also never understood that
I
because
want
I'm
to
like,
scream. I'm like, you are
Abudi?
destroying our industry.
You are. Because the problem is you have Canva, then you have the industry.
Yeah.
And Canva's lovely. I love Canva. I was even dragged on Twitter because I said graphic designers are not aware that Canva's taking their jobs. People were mad at me, talking about the value of a logo. I said, you don't need to tell me.
You know.
I know the value of I'm a marketer. I know the value of a logo. But if I can say this as a marketer, what do you think the average customer is saying? They're saying, how Canva? I pay 1.8 for the whole year. I can do logos. People don't even know what a good or bad logo is.
Oh, yeah.
So they're just going to use
Let's
Canva and
go.
be very happy.
Yeah.
It's quick.
Yes.
I don't have to chase you, find you, pay. It's lovely. So, like, you're right. Like, even I think the graphic design industry is suffering a lot.
A lot.
I see that being the place where things are being undercharged the most.
A lot, yes.
You know, creators get paid a little, but graphic design is nothing. It's like peanuts.
And our work as designers, as creative designers, whether you're designing logos, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a web designer, website, the value of what you're doing is so big.
Yes.
You are the bridge between the business, the brand, and their target audience. They can't get there without you.
Because I've got a controversial one, and my non-water's going in.
Yes.
But we know, you and me, some of us know that a website is important. I know just even from selling things on a website, how conversion is hampered by a bad design.
Yes.
Guys, you can literally lose 50% of your prospective sales just from a bad web design.
Just because it's hard to navigate.
Just because it's hard to navigate. And they just
scroll away.
switch off and they go,
Yeah.
right? So, and I know this, I'm learning even from my own website how I can generate leads. I mean, we've got I think it's like 25%.
Oh.
What is it, conversion?
Conversion rate, yeah.
No, conversion when people get onto your website.
Yes.
What is it?
Click-through rate. when
Something
they-
like that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we've got a very good click-through rate.
Right.
And then the conversion is like 9%.
Yeah.
Right? It can be higher because the click-through rate is high. So that means that there's a problem in design.
Yes.
I am aware of that as a marketer,
Sure.
but I'm not a designer,
Sure.
whatever. So I see the financial loss that comes from bad design, even from bad logo, bad everything. Now, I'm going to say something very controversial. I don't believe, and in my experience, don't believe that a lot of people who are graphic designers know the strategic engine behind what they do.
Yes.
So they also create useless websites and logos.
Yeah. So when I started out graphic designing, I was just like that.
Yeah.
My focus was on designing beautifully. But the value of a thing, of the design you're making is not in its aesthetic. It's in its function. It's in the psychology.
Yes.
So when I understood that and started growing personally in that knowledge, I was able to convert my agency from a design agency to a full marketing agency.
Thank you.
Because now I was able to provide strategy.
Thank you.
Because now there has to be a why behind every color,
Yes.
every font,
Yes.
every layout. Why?
But not just the why. Money, a random amount,
Yes.
right?
A random
And I asked this, I struggle to find the creatives. Because I say to them, what is the value of what you're giving me? I get the price, but what's the value?
Value.
What am I going to get from your website? And they get so offended, and you're like, but you shouldn't be. Everybody asks that question.
Yeah.
Lebo, if you're going to do digital training for our team, what's the value? I have to say, you can do this. This is how much you should be able to.
Yes.
Money. Why don't creators think in money?
So here's the thing as well, and I learned this from Vusi Tembegwayo a while ago, and I think it's a valid lesson. I don't negotiate on price.
Yes.
I negotiate on value.
Thank you.
What is it giving you? And I will charge you based on the value that it will produce for you. And I will tell you during our consultations that because I'm designing it this way, it will produce these results. And when this happens, this will happen. So you will see the vision and the direction above the amount.
Yes.
And when you see the value, right, then you are able to pay any amount. But we don't know how to sell value. We are competing with the graphic designer living
Next door.
at the varsity dorm room.
Oh,
at
you're
the
competing with your lifestyle.
Hey,
I'm creatives like to charge for lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
As the customer, you feel like, yo, this guy's charging me so he can go to Cape Town. Like, you can tell. He's charging me so he can pay his rent. That's not how you price things.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How?
Yeah, and I'm glad we're gonna have an episode on pricing because that's so important.
Yeah, no.
So important.
Pricing is the be-all and end-all. But,
Yeah.
going back to Lebo Mbali Nhlapo and other creators, right? And how influencers need to, A, be charging their worth. But B, when we say that, what does that mean?
So, first of all, you gotta have worth.
Say that again.
You gotta have worth. You gotta have value if you're gonna charge for your value and your worth.
Thank you.
So, don't just increase your design, your actual technical design skills, but you have got to study and learn. And I'm not even talking necessarily about going to actual school.
Yes.
And if you can, yes, do. But there's so many resources out there where you can learn the psychology, but also the science behind certain things. There is an emotions actually, that are attached to every color, every shape. You know, if I'm designing something and all the shapes on it, on that layout, are square, sharp corners, there's a certain emotion, there's a certain thing. If they are round, it's softer, it's gentler. So you gotta know all of these things and bring your client into your confidence about those things. Take them through your process and your why. And that's why many of us, when we design, we will attach a rationale with the design work. We'll tell you why did we design this way. But the important thing is have worth. Know the importance of certain things and why we design or should design in particular ways. Yeah? And when we don't know our worth, we don't know how to charge, we don't know how to price.
This is very true.
We don't know how to price. We end up being desperate for work. And we think if I charge little, and I can just generate volume and numbers, but that is time. You get tired, and you end up not applying yourself properly to every project. And you find designers that have got so many clients, their portfolios are impressive, but they have not properly focused, they are not able to properly invest time and work into
And
every
hone their
project.
skills. Yeah.
A client, I've learned, can easily pay more when you say to them, listen, I might need to, let's say, take on more clients just for my business to survive because I'm charging at this level. But if I charge on this level, this enables me to give you more attention.
Yes.
And focus on your brand more. And you sell the value of that.
Yeah.
And that means that the turnaround times for delivery can even be shorter because I'm focusing more.
You're
I'm investing
incentivizing
more.
it.
Yeah. So you got to be able to know how to sell that and then have a discussion with them. I read something that says you got to say to your client, listen, if I can deliver this and do this at this price, what will be stopping you from going ahead with the deal?
Yes. Chris Doe likes to give that advice.
Yes.
There's another one.
Yes.
But they like to say that
Yeah.
because that is the question, right?
That's the question.
I say you should never create doubt in your client's mind, right? But you need to make them feel like they are responsible for the outcome.
Yes.
And that's what that question
Yes,
does for
yes,
them.
yes.
You know, it makes them feel like you didn't tell them what to do. They decided.
That's right.
And it is what it is,
Yes.
right?
They chose it.
They chose it.
Make it their decision.
Make it their decision.
Yeah, and so when the work is at a certain quality level, you can again say to them, listen, we did discuss this. So the quality of this website will not be like so-and-so's because remember, this is what we invoiced for. This is what we agreed on. Yeah.
So, I'm a creator.
Yeah.
I'm on TikTok, getting a lot of followers. People know my name. How should I be charging?
Interesting. Wow, Lebo. So let's talk about an example of a project, maybe.
Okay.
What example can you
Like
think
it's a,
of?
let's talk about Mbali Nhlapo. Let's use her.
Okay. Well, traditionally, people think they should charge based just on cost price. But
What's cost price?
Yeah, like how much is it costing me to produce this product or service? And then we charge on that level. Okay. But once you start selling value and promoting yourself based on your value, you are the client is able to fork out more money. Because now they understand.
Whoa.
Yeah.
People who are in this community, they know. I always say value.
Yeah.
Okay, sharp. Authenticity.
Yes.
Sharp.
Sure.
Let's talk for real now, like
Yeah.
in terms of what does that look like? Mbali Nhlapo. We know her. I think she's got over 600,000 followers on TikTok, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I checked her YouTube, which is weird. Her YouTube has less than 2,000 subscribers. But her Instagram has about 140 something thousand
Yes.
followers.
Yes.
So from a perspective of real estate by numbers, she hits the targets for a lot of brands,
Sure.
right? And she plays in the FMCG space, fast moving consumer goods, which means that a lot of the stuff that she would be able to sell are lower priced, perishables, you know, which is great because perishables means repeat purchases, right?
Sure.
And she's usually selling things that people want to buy that are essentials in their cupboards,
Sure.
whatever. So
Sure.
this is a great proposition,
Yes.
right? If you were Mbali Nhlapo's manager and Safari Vinegar comes to you and says, we want to work with Mbali, we want her to vet this.
Yes.
How would you charge that?
So, how would premise the conversation would be to frame the opportunity cost.
Okay.
Losing this opportunity of not working with Mbali will cost you X.
Okay.
And that's how I'll say, this is what Mbali can do for you.
Yes.
You not working with her
Yeah.
means you're missing out on this.
Yes.
Right. So, let's say Mbali has, you said how many? 60,000?
600 and something thousand.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, she's got a lot.
She's
Like
well on her way
she's
to
there.
million,
Exactly.
too, right?
No, she's big.
So let's say, it also depends what the client wants. Let's say they want you to do a typical influencer video. This is the product.
They want her to be, so they want to have posters with her in
And she's endorsing.
department stores where
Yes.
they say Mbali endorses Safari.
Yes.
Right? And obviously they'll maybe do a few Instagram, TikTok videos where they show that these things
Sure,
exist.
sure.
And maybe they'll also book her for a couple of talks
Yeah.
on behalf of Safari to show how the vinegar works. Demos,
Oh, yeah.
essentially.
So for a 3-month deal,
Yeah.
I have, for similar project, I have managed to negotiate 300,000 for 3 months.
Okay.
3
300,000
months,
for 3 months.
300,000 for for content on social media, and you must itemize.
Yes.
You must say X amount of videos. Otherwise, you'll be getting calls at midnight.
Yes. I bathanda kabi. Thank you. At midnight, and you're right, they will call you at midnight.
300,000 for where Mbali is. With someone with numbers like Mbali,
Yeah.
can walk away with that kind of paycheck, but as her manager, I'd be careful that everything must be stipulated. The kind of work that she must
has to do.
must be, because what brands like to do is they'll agree on what you agree on the amount, and even pay you, but they'll come
With
you know,
extra.
with a smile. Hey,
Yeah.
can you please do this? And you find that thing requires time from you,
Yes.
resources from you, time that you could be using working for something else. And when you don't have a manager as a creator, when you don't have business acumen to stand for yourself, it's easy to say yes.
Yes.
Because you don't want to lose the relationship.
And they will lose you easily.
Oh,
They don't mind gaslighting you
Oh,
and say, because
listen.
you didn't do this, we are over
yes,
you.
yes.
And you're like, how can you be over me now?
And don't allow brands, no matter how big they are, to diminish your value.
Yes.
Tell them who you are.
Do you want to say that again?
Tell them who you are. Tell them my name is.
Don't allow brands to diminish your
Diminish
value.
your value and your identity. They must know who you are. I was negotiated with a big brand, and they complained about the agency representing them at one of the banks. Our budget is little, our budget is little. I said, fine, listen, I understand. But listen, the person that you want
It's not little.
is X, Y, Z.
Thank you. It's
So
not
please,
little.
can you reconsider this and come back to me with something better?
Yeah.
And
And you
I
know,
got it.
the worst and the most annoying thing for me is that they don't mind going to Ogilvy and paying the full fee.
See, you
They don't
see?
go to Ogilvy and say we don't have a budget, but they go to you.
They
Well,
s-
you are giving
yeah.
them 10 times the value of
Yeah.
Ogilvy, and they say we don't have a budget. I was even on Penuel's podcast,
Yeah.
and he was saying the same thing of, we assume that brands know who we are when
Yeah.
they contact us, right? And this is not an arrogance thing. It's by the time you come to me, you've done your research about
Yeah,
me. You
yeah.
should have a basic understanding of my numbers, my values, my content, my everything.
Yeah.
So he was saying that it's really frustrating how they'll approach you as if you are not you. Right? So if I'm Lebo Lion, the voice of marketing, and I'm literally online telling people this is how you charge.
Yeah.
And you come to me and you lowball me. It's an even greater insult
It is
than
an
if
insult.
you didn't approach me at all.
Yeah.
Because what are you doing?
Yeah.
Then you really don't know me.
Yeah.
You're working with me because, I don't know,
Yeah.
vibes,
Yeah.
I can't tell you. Right? And that means that the entire journey and experience that I'm going to have with you is going to undermine me.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
a lot of creators actually who know their worth and understand the game hate working with brands, even though there's some good money there, because the money versus the stress. The stress is greater than the money. So it's just interesting how different brand managers and agencies handle their influencer marketing, and it speaks to the knowledge and the caliber of the
Yes.
different brands and agencies,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
But I mean, this conversation, I think it's been heavy.
Yeah.
And it's good that it's been heavy. I hope anybody who's listening can take something away from this and
Yeah.
say, now I'm going to charge the right way. I'm going
Yes.
to add value in a certain way. And go look at Mbali's page
Yes.
and see how she's done things, because there's a lot that you can learn from that.
Absolutely.
I have nothing more to say except don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do all the things that you have to do to get people to like and share this podcast. Also, don't forget to get tickets to the Everything is Marketing Masterclass tour happening on the 16th of March. If this podcast is released after the 16th of March, you can go onto our website to see all the other tour days that we'd be having in Cape Town, Durban, and Limpopo. Until next time, don't forget, the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Lebo Lion with the tweets. Follow me back to my nest. Lebo Lion with the podcast. Teach you lesson cause I got class. Lebo Lion with the impact. You be lying, that's a real fact. Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson.